that's why the 144,000 are described as having a sterling character that they prepared before probation closed. I want to read once again Revelation 22, verse 11, and also verse 12 that we read a while ago, because there's a little nuance in translation that is not found in the King James Version. Revelation 22 and verse 11. He who is unjust, the King James, New King James says, let him be unjust still. Really, the Greek tense of the verb says, let him continue to act unjustly. In other words, it's not a state of being unjust. It is acting unjustly. And it's reflected in many of the modern versions. So he who is unjust, let him continue to act unjustly. He who is filthy, let him continue to act filthily, is what it really says in the Greek. It has to do with actions. And then it continues saying, he who is righteous, let him continue to act righteously. And he who is holy, let him continue to act in a holy manner. And then, of course, when that happens, it says, and behold, I am coming quickly, and my reward is with me to give everyone according to his work. There's one final passage that I want us to take a look at before we bring this to a close. It's found in the book of Joel, chapter 2. And it has the same question that we noticed in several other passages. By the way, we don't have time to read verses 1 through 10 of Joel 2. It's describing the second coming of Jesus Christ, the first 10 verses. God is coming with his army to the world. Let's begin at verse 10. The earth quakes before them. This is speaking about Jesus coming with his angels. The earth quakes before them. The heavens tremble. Read Matthew 24. There it speaks about the heavens and the earth trembling. The sun and the moon grow dark. Once again, Matthew 24. And the stars diminish their brightness. This is the second coming of Jesus. And it says, the Lord gives his voice before his army. Those are the angels. For his camp is very great. For strong is the one who executes his word. And now notice the question. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. Who can endure it? Is that the same question? The great day of his wrath has come. Who can endure this day when Jesus comes with his angels? There's a special preparation that has to take place. And that preparation is mentioned beginning with verse 12. By the way, here it's speaking about the Day of Atonement. We are now in the Day of Atonement, when we should be cleansing our lives from sin through the grace and power of Jesus Christ. So that when sanctuary is closed, it won't be necessary to introduce sin into the sanctuary, because on the Day of Atonement, sin is taken out of the sanctuary, primarily at the end of the Day of Atonement. Notice what it says in verse 12. Immediately after saying, who is able to stand in this day? God gives the counsel. He says, now therefore, says the Lord, turn to me with all your heart, with fasting, with weeping, and with mourning. This is what happened on the Day of Atonement. You can read it in Leviticus 23. It's the only day in the Hebrew calendar where fasting was required in the Hebrew feasts. And so it says with fasting, with weeping, and with mourning. So rend your heart and not your garments. Return to the Lord your God, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and he relents from doing harm. Who knows if he will turn and relent and leave a blessing behind him, a grain offering and a drink offering for the Lord your God?